Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another brand new episode of Dunswell Zoo. Last episode we built the... Southern Hairy-Nosed Wombat. There we go. The last episode we built the Southern Hairy-Nosed Wombat habitat. We built two of them. And at the end of the episode I detailed what I'd be doing in this episode, as well as the reasons why this episode and the next episode are a little bit different to what we're sort of used to on the channel. So in this episode I'll be showing you basically what something looks like before and what something looks like after. So in this episode you can expect the numbat habitat, this one in particular, will be getting a makeover because the viewing opportunities are pretty poor. The platypus hab, the second one, if I can manage to get down there, it's a bit tricky sometimes. There we go. The second habitat here, this rock is going to be swapped out for something a bit thinner, a bit less obtrusive, something a bit more neat, I think. And the yellow-footed rock wallaby habitat is getting a major makeover. We're putting a staff zone in at the back here, removing this shelter, and the habitat itself will be getting a major makeover. That'll be this episode. All of it's going to be this episode. And then just a couple of bits of planting here and there. Really. Not much. Something to cover this grey up. And put the doors in, of course. I always forget about the doors. So that is going to be this episode, essentially. It's going to be, here's what this looked like before, and here's what it looks like now. I'm going to leave this numbat habitat as it is, because I quite like it. It'll be this one. It's getting some changes. With that in mind, my friends, I shall see you all in just a few seconds when I have completed my makeover of this habitat. So we're back, and this is what it looks like after. Very different, as you can see. So before we had that sort of lump of bracken in the middle, and there was a couple of trees dotted around the outside, and it was pretty boring. Whereas now we've got this big tree which acts as a focal point, and then we've got these are juvenile numbats. They haven't grown up yet. We've got our juvenile numbats in here. They've got their food. Got some food enrichment. Got enrichment, food enrichment, and there's some more at the back as well. And yeah, it's just a much better looking habitat in my opinion. Definitely better planting anyway. And the numbats are hopefully going to be very happy in here. Does say critically endangered here, but if we head on over, it does only say endangered. I don't have my phone to hand, so I can't double check which one. Oh, actually, no, I do. Let's check which one's correct, shall we? Which one is the correct status for the numbat? Endangered. So this is correct. This isn't. Either way, numbat habitat number 2 is done. Numbat habitat number 1 didn't need redoing. So that's absolutely fine. So next on the list is the platypus habitat. Oops. The sort of stone incline. I will try and find a nicer piece to use. This is a bit chunky, a bit bulky, and it does poke through at the other side. I don't mind this bit, but at the other side it's quite chunky. It takes up a fair portion of the path. So I would ideally like something a little bit thinner, a little bit neater looking. It just looks quite scruffy, this section. I don't know what it is, it's just this doesn't look as good as it could. So that's going to be the next thing I do. And I need to plug some of these little holes. That's not a problem. We're in the rib cage, as I like to call it. Yeah, I just need to plug some of these little holes that have popped up as I have fallen into the path. There we are. Any more for any more? There's a bit of one there. I think that's about it, right? Yes. Yeah. So 2 holes to plug. And oh no, maybe more than 2. 3 holes to plug. 4 holes to plug. 5 holes to plug. 5 holes to plug. There we go. So 5 holes and the edging thing, this. So I shall see you all in just a few seconds when that has been completed. Welcome back again, everyone, and I have now more or less finished the platypus habitat. I think this one could do with a little bit more planting, but I'll put it on my to-do list. It's nothing major. Nothing like this, or it needed something neater. So initially, if you remember from just a few seconds ago, the rock sort of sloped down and followed the path. And the idea was that here you would only have sort of eyeline view with a platypus. None of this would be visible, it'd just be this bit. And then as you slowly descended, more and more of the view became available until you hit the bottom. I've now got rid of that rock and replaced it with this grey mud wall. So it's still got some texture to it, it's not just flat concrete. And it's much neater. You get more of a view, if anything. And just up here, I've added some additional supports to brace the window against the pressure of the water, but to also support the roof as well. Let me go ahead and show you what I was thinking with the planting. It's just this area here. Guests can't come down here. This is a staff path, but you know, you can see it from here, which is it's not an issue. I just don't like that you can see sort of straight through. So just a little bit more planting there, I think. Maybe a bit more planting here. Let's have a look anywhere else that needs improvements. This looks all okay up here. Yeah, happy with that. Go over here. Planting's fine. Platypus sign. I might put some of the statues there. Come down here. The rib cage. Platypus statues. Food and drink. I've filled all the holes in as well. Just need to watch your head on that part. And then of course you come down here and you have the other platypus habitat, and we can actually see 1, 2. I only ever see 2 of them, but there's 3 in here. And then of course we have our guest talk. So they would come up here, sit down. Ideally, I think for the guest talk, you would probably want to be sat on the bottom 2 rows so you get the best view. Yeah, that's okay. Of course, the toilets, it's all filled in. That's fine. That's fine. And that's fine. So I may put a sign here that says like platypus this way, just because there's nothing that really denotes that there's anything down there at the moment. If you came in from the other direction and missed the little cut off path, you know, you would get to here. You think, oh, what's that? And then you would see the platypus sign and go down there. But from the other direction, there isn't really anything. If we head back around here again. But then again, if they've come down here, yeah, they'll have seen that that's what that is. Underwater for the platypus. Maybe not then. We'll see. We'll put a pin in that one. Our Tasmanian devils. So next on the agenda then will probably be the biggest part of this episode, and that's the yellow-footed rock wallabies. Oops. So this is kind of the best view that you can get of them at the minute, which isn't bad, but it's not fantastic either. And although they do use that to drink from, I still think it's too big, even for the rock wallabies. So change the planting, change the layout of the habitat, change the fence probably. Change the terrain, change the size of the habitat as well. Change most things. So this will be the next thing that I'm going to do. So let's just head into standardo mode. Get a good look, because the next time you see it, it's not going to look anything like this. So this is going to go, even though there's now a wallaby in there. There's going to be a staff path. It's going to come out here, I think. And I'll remove this bit of fence. The staff path's going to lead down here. And the yellow-footed rock wallaby fence is going to run along the back. And that's going to be a staff zone in there. And then I definitely want to keep this sort of red rock formation, but make it more usable for the yellow-footed rock wallabies. Get rid of the strip of land at the back. So yeah, I will see you all when that's done. The other two have taken like half an hour tops. Each, of course. But I reckon this one's going to take a bit longer. So I shall see you when it's done, nonetheless. I hope you like the end product, but we'll see, because I don't even know what the end product is yet. I will see you all shortly. Well, welcome back, everyone. It's been 2 days. It's been pretty busy, but I've created a yellow-footed rock wallaby habitat that I am very satisfied with. It might be my best build ever. Previously, that was the marsh deer habitat in South America. But as we slowly turn around, hey, look at that. So this is the brand new yellow-footed rock wallaby habitat. Let's have a very quick tour. So we come to this area, and you of course can go right to the platypus. You can continue to view the yellow-footed rock wallabies from outside. I can now go left. There's going to be a different sign here. That's just sort of an example from what I'm working off. And obviously you would open the gate and then close it behind you, go through the flaps and then come out the other side, and it's a walk-through habitat. I did want a rope fence in here to stop people from veering off, but I couldn't do it. The wallabies and the guests didn't have, the wallabies and the keepers couldn't access the different parts of the habitat, so there's no fence in here, so there's going to be lots of signs saying stay on the path. See, we've got one of our yellow-footed rock wallabies here, some enrichment around the outside, got some food on the inside, got little caves what they can go in, some enrichment down there, there's water in here. Got some nice sort of planting and rock combinations, education, yellow-footed rock wallabies, and if we stand here, which is like the main focal point of the habitat, which is sort of, this is what you're drawn to, this mound, this hill, we can actually see that they are completely able to use this. I've got it on pause at the moment just because there's a lot going on in the background. So the frame for this I didn't build, it's available on the Steam workshop. So where you see these textures here, it's the Australian fence, and they'd built it for a Komodo dragon. And it's basically just wherever you see those fences, that texture, that's where the blueprint is. Everything else, so all the way up here, this is me. I built this and I'm really happy with it. Obviously guests can't come up here. I mean, they can technically, but they shouldn't. So we'll just head back down. So they've got some indoor shelter there, where they can get away from prying eyes. Same here. They've got some break in the line of sight. So there's that. And then we get over to this side and we've got the little sort of grassland area, because they do like long grass. So some different rock formations over here. Not a lot of planting over here. I didn't think there would be particularly. I was going to plant the entire area with like the grasses, but looking at wallaby habitats, not so much yellow-footed rock wallabies, but swamp wallabies, Bennett's wallabies, Palmer wallabies, they graze a lot on the grass, so even this long grass is technically unrealistic, but they need it as a terrain requirement, so I added it. So it's very barren, very dry habitat. So yeah, this is the brand new yellow-footed rock wallaby habitat, and I am very, very happy with it. I really love how it's turned out. It's exactly what I imagined in my head. Just absolutely amazing, if I may say so myself. And then, of course, to exit, you would open the gate, close it behind you, walk through the flaps, and then the same to come back out. And then this is your view from out here. There's Frank. So I kept the fencing. I just moved the I've just realised that they're different types. I kept the beams of wood across the top, but I moved them down instead, so they're not across the top, they're along the bottom, just to frame the glass a little bit nicer. And then obviously this sign, we're going to keep the rusty metal sort of design and the planks, but it's going to be a custom sign. Just the rules: stay on the path, don't feed the animals, stuff like that. So that, my friends, is the brand new, completely redesigned yellow-footed rock wallaby habitat. So up next is probably the final part of this episode, which is the doors here. Got to design some fancy doors to go on here, and then a sign outside, of course, for the Australia house. And then there we go. That's essentially it. I've done some adjustments in the Platypus hab as well. So yeah, that is going to be it for this little section. I shall see you all very shortly for the final part of this episode, which will be the door and the sign. So I shall see you all in just a few seconds. So welcome back, guys, and as you can see, there is a major change to the front of the Australia house. I am now very pleased to announce the Australia house is 100% finished. Ignore that weird texture thing that's happening there with the doors. I don't know what that's about, but there we go. Yeah, the Australia house is now done. So we shall have a very quick look. There is going to be a separate episode on a tour of the Australia house. There should be a poll already on the channel by now, and by all means comment in the video as well. How do you want the tour to be done? Do you just want it to be cinematic shots with some music, like tours are traditionally done on YouTube, or do you want me to actually walk you through each habitat with sort of educational content behind it? I did give an example, I think it was in the last episode, where it was like, hang on a minute, let me just see what's going on with this camera. It's not that one. It's better. It was just acting a bit weird. So it's like, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dunswell Zoo. Upon entering the Australia house, the first animal you will encounter is the common wombat. The common wombat, found in Australia, is blah 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 blah. Do you want something like that, or do you just want the traditional, let's spend a minute or so looking at this animal with some music, and then we move on to something else? There'll be no narration to that, let me know. Anyway, not what we're here for. Australia house is done. So we shall have a look. Do you know what, actually I'm gonna go to explore mode, just so we get a guest's perspective. So this is what you would see walking up. So you have the Australia house there and some automatic doors. They would slide open. That's my sound effect for an automatic door. And then you brought into this little lobby area. This seam won't disappear for some reason, but you can't really notice it that much. So we've got benches on the left, and then on the right we have this photo opportunity with this like concrete crocodile statue from the Outback Pack. I just think that's a really cool photo opportunity there. There's little information about the saltwater crocodile. These planters here, and then there's just some more decoration there on the right, and then you come out and pazam, you're in the Australia house. So this is new. I've put some signs in. I've realised how one-sided the Australia house is. Everything's in that direction, hardly anything's in this direction. Just going to take a very quick walk round. I've put some rocks in the Platypus hab, the second one. Some piles of rocks there. We'll add to it as more DLCs and updates and mods come out, I'm sure of that. And then you're brought round to the yellow-footed rock wallaby habitat, which now looks stunning, if I may say so myself. We've got the habitat rules here. No food and drink in the habitat, do not touch the animals, do not call out to the animals, do not shout or scream while in the habitat, and please keep to the walkway at all times. And then the animals in this habitat are easily spooked. To maintain optimal animal welfare as well as guest experience, we politely request that you remain as quiet as possible when inside the habitat. Any guests found to be making excessive noise or ignoring the rules will be asked to leave the zoo. Same applies for children. So of course you would go through the flaps, and then we've got these signs in here as well, which is please stay on the path at all times. But nothing else has changed in here, I don't think, other than putting these signs in. Please stay on the path at all times. Oh yeah, I've put some more enrichment in. I did forget about that. But we can see that they're actually using the rocks now. You can only see that one on there. They're actually using the rocks now, which is exactly what I wanted. So yeah, please stay on the path at all times. What else has changed? We've also got that same sign over here as well. We've got staff access down here. Tasmanian Devil Hab. I raised the walls over at the side here just because you could see the staff complex. I didn't really want that showing. I've put some bins in. The Tasmanian Devils now have an educational talk. I felt that was quite important. We'll come down here. I showed off the new and improved stuff last time. Well, later in the episode. Earlier in the episode, sorry, I think. Nothing else has changed down here. Then we're brought out here. There should now be a male and a female tree kangaroo in this habitat. He says. There's one sort of moonwalking in the air. Don't know why that's boxed. Let's just do that. So there's one sort of moonwalking in the air. I don't know where the other one is at the moment. Probably up in the trees somewhere. But there's now a male and a female in here, ready to breed. Got some more ceiling supports in, because I felt that was quite important. We'd kind of neglected that throughout the building process. Just pop back out the front of the habitat here. Platypus, one of the females, is expecting some pups, so that's going to be quite exciting. We have a common wombat. Oh yeah, big change. Monarch butterflies, their house has completely changed now. This is very much based on Delay Designer's blueprint is the word I was looking for. Delay Designer's blueprint for the butterfly house. So this back part here, that's Delay Designer's. So this essentially is Delay Designer's blueprint. It'll be identical, but everything else, these other walls are modified, and the roof is completely mine. So you now get a much better viewing experience for the monarch butterflies. You can see there's one there. There's quite a few here. There's some up there. I'm trying to find the rest of them now. There's quite a few here. So you can see before we couldn't really see any, but now we can actually see quite a lot. So I think that's a massive improvement there. New sign, of course. Help us to preserve butterfly species all over the world by donating today. And we have the monarch butterfly. It's a little bit bright. I might tweak it at some point. We have our giant burrowing cockroaches. They've got a sign. Your donations will help us to preserve vital eucalyptus habitats in Australia, which is 100% true. Monorail's now got signage. This is the entrance. And then exit only. I don't get why they're always boxed. It's always him. And I don't get why he's always boxed. He can't escape the habitat, so it confuses me. We can see koala there, and koala there. And then something else that's new is this here, which of course tells you that the nocturnal house is there. Food court that way, the Tarka that way, the Australian sea lion that way, and the wallaby walkabout that way. Victorian koala and southern hairy nose wombat that way, and then everything else in this direction. And that is the Australia house, completely finished. Except for this fence here, which I need to change to stone. Other than that, it's the Australia house completely finished. We've got 3 of our 4 females here. So yeah, super happy with how everything's turned out. Super happy with how everything looks. And that more or less completes the Australia house. We may add or remove things as the series goes on, but certainly for the next few months I can't see anything changing in here. So I'm very happy with how everything looks. That's going to be it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. I'm not going to do an animal like I usually do. I usually end it on an animal. I'm not going to end it here. So next time, the next episode will be the tour of the Australia house. It will either be a cinematic or it will be a cinematic stroke tour with some voiceover, but I'd like you guys to let me know what you want where that's concerned. After the Australia house, we're going to be moving back over to South America for the giant otters, and we're going to be shifting some of the planned habitats around as well, because we've got a new addition. Either way, thank you very much for watching. Please do interact with those polls and let me know what kind of videos you would like to see moving forward, both where the tours stroke cinematics are concerned and videos in general. You can also find me on Instagram at jw_yt. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you've liked this video and would like to stay up to date with all my Planet Zoo content. Until that next time, my friends, stay safe, stay kind, and I shall see you all very, very soon. Bye bye for now.